share in his suffering, becoming like him in his death, and somehow participating with him in his resurrection. Now, Paul said these words in Philippians, when he's writing to Philippians. To me, this kind of like expresses the epitome of intimacy. Like, I want to be as close to you as humanly possible. Beyond what's humanly possible, that's how close that I want to be with you. And I think, like, fellas, just imagine if you like took that verse and switched it around a little bit and sent it to your ladies when you first started dating, right? And you're like, baby, I said, baby, I want to know you. I want to be a part of the good times. And I want to be with you when it hurts, girl. Yeah. He said, you know what? I will die with you. And I will rise with you. We ride together, we die together, bad boys for life. Something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like, just imagine that. Like, it's as close as you could be, right? That level of intimacy where no matter what happens, the hurts, the good, the bad, like you're going to be with somebody through all of that, right? And so I kind of want to use that context for the whole, it's not going to be that long, for the entire message this morning. So keeping that in mind, we'll come back to that. But I want to tell you guys a little bit of story about my early 20s, right? A long time ago, I'm just 29 right now, so it feels like 7-8 years ago. That's a long time when you're in your 20s still. And so about 7-8 years ago, and I bought my first car off of the lot, right? I was financing it because before that, I had cars, but they were like scrapers. I don't know if you know what scrapers are, but they're like, I think y'all call them lemons, buckets, right? Hoopties. Those were my cars before that. So, but now I have like a pretty stable job, consistent job. I needed a reliable car. So I went to the lot, put a little bit of money down, and bought this car. Now, it wasn't like a fancy or a luxury car. It was like a silver Toyota Solara, coupe. So, but compared to my cars that I had before, it was luxury to me. So I'm like, all right, look, I'm a responsible 21-year-old, 22-year-old. I got to be an adult now. And so every single month, the car payments would come up. It's like pulling teeth. So, I got to pay this car payment, so I need to have this car. And then insurance. I'm like, oh, man, full coverage is kind of steep for me right now. I told you I was in my early 20s. So I was like, I'll do liability. Okay, pay liability insurance every month. I know it's not the best thing, but I paid it every month. And then registration came up. I'm like, man, I paid registration too. All right, coming out my little bit of chump change, pay my registration. And then maintenance, right? The check engine, the oil change light came on. So I was like, oh, man. But you don't want your engine to go out when you just bought a car. So, all right, go pay my little chump change, get my oil change. And then the brakes start wearing down. I'm like, well, I'm about to get me a bike. All this and got a bike. So my brakes start wearing down. So that's so important. I want to be able to stop. So I go and I get my brakes done. Oh, man, that's it. And then my tires start wearing down. And they get wore. So, oh my goodness. So whatever, I go to the tire shop, go to Big O Tires, and I'm like, my tires is going out. Not going out, but they bald. I need 4 new tires all the way around. So, all right, no problem. Did they know something on the computer? All right, so, what kind of car do you have? Put it in. It's looking like about brand new, $175 per tire, come up about $700. I said, $700 what? I had a heart attack. Right then and there, I said, you said who? And I said, it's important, so let me make a call real quick. Hello? Yeah, I'm at Big O Tires right now. I like to report a robbery. Right now, I said, what you think I got a Batmobile? I said, I got a little Solara. I just need some tires. I'm not paying them $700. So, of course, I do what any reasonable young brother would do. I want you to hit. I want you to go ahead and tire shop. Right there in okay, no tire shop. I said, man, I need some tires. He was like, I'll give you four used tires for $100. I said, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You're gonna take my money right now. I got $100. I got $700, but I can round up $100. So I have 4 used tires, which was cool. It lasted me for a few months. But y'all know used tires don't last that long. So a couple months later, they fall again. So I'm like, I ain't gonna be doing this every couple months. Rotate them things. Rotate around. I ain't got the money. I already paid for my other stuff. I can't be messing with all this car stuff. And so then rotated them. That lasts for a while. And then the air goes out one of my tires. Fix-A-Flat. I go get some Fix-A-Flat, spray it up in there, put a little air in there, keep on going, right? So I'm rolling. And then that's good for the summertime. But then the first rain came. Don't spoil my story. I know y'all know where it's going. Don't spoil my story. So the first rain came, and so I'm heading to this, it was like a family birthday party, and I'm driving. And I know my tires ain't the best, so I'm driving cautious. I'm driving slow, and so I come to this light. It just turns yellow. I'm seeing if the car in front of me is gonna go. I'm like, all right, go, so I can go behind you. But they start to stop, so I'm like, all right, I guess we stopping. And so I still got a lot of space, so I start stopping. And I realized my car ain't stopping like I'm going to. So like, whatever, I still got a lot of room. So I'm like, let me just press it a little harder. So I press the brakes a little harder, and it still ain't stopping like it's supposed to be stopping. Now the tire stopped, but the car just kept going. I'm not kidding y'all. The car went another like 30 yards. It just kept going and hit the car in front of me. And I got into an accident. And y'all know I'm going to have liability insurance. So my car was messed up. But I had to keep driving it for a whole nother half a year until I could figure it. So that's my story. But you know what? I learned something valuable from that lesson. See, human nature is when people feel like they don't have the power to overcome a problem, what they'll do is they will try to ease the pain just a little bit, right? They will take an easier option when they feel like they can't face the whole thing at the time. That's exactly what I did with my car. I felt like, $700. I ain't got $700 to pay for all these tires. Now, what I could have done is, start putting a little bit of money, $100 from every check, saved up for a few months, and got some new tires. But I was like, I'm gonna just make it work. I'm gonna just ease the pain. I'm gonna just numb the impact a little bit for as long as I can, right? And it doesn't work. But I think, spiritually, we do the same thing that I did with my tires. When we're faced with a problem and we feel like we might not be able to overcome that challenge, then we'll settle for the easy option. And notice how I didn't say the easy solution. Because most of the times the easy option is never the solution, but it's kind of what we settle for. And I want to give kind of like a contrast and context. So let's turn over to, you guys don't have to, but I'm going to turn over to Matthew chapter 27, and I'm going to start at verse 27. I'm going to read it for you guys because I want to look at how Jesus handled these situations. And I'm going to read it so you guys can turn there or not. It said, then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand. Then they knelt in front of him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews," they said. They spit on him and took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene named Simon, and they forced him to carry the cross. They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. There, they offered Jesus wine to drink, mixed with gall. But after tasting it, he refused to drink it. He refused to drink it. And so the wine offered with the gall, it seemed like the perfect solution for the situation. Because he's, of course, thirsty, which even says later on in the chapter, he's like, I'm thirsty. And then it had gall in it. And gall, you guys can think about it as like a modern day tequila, right? And so what it did, it was kind of like a sedative. So it would help relieve some of the pain that you were going through and help kind of like relax you, I guess, for whatever was about to happen. Which in Jesus' case, this was perfect right now. So it would like quench his thirst, ease some of his pain, and help him get through whatever he had to go through. And when I look at this situation, I'm like, why did you refuse it? Like, Jesus had every single, like, if anybody had a reason to accept a little bit of, like, some kind of a drink, Jesus had this reason. If anybody had a reason ever in history to take a little bit of relief, it was Jesus. Because let's look at, like, what he's been through. Most likely, he hasn't had anything to drink since the previous night when he had the Last Supper with his disciples. And since then, Jesus had been up all night. He'd been up all night. He went to the Garden of Gethsemane. He was praying. He stayed up. All his disciples fell asleep. He was crying and praying. And he said like he was overwhelmed to the point of death. Like he was stressed out all night at that time. It said that his sweat became like drops of blood. How dehydrated, how stressed and overwhelmed you have to be for your sweat to become like drops of blood. Then after that, he was arrested, stood on fair trial all night. In the previous chapter in 26, it talks about how they were beating him with their hands, punching him in the face. They were spitting on him and mocking him all night. After that, they had him flogged. They flogged him 39 whips with a long whip with things and glass and all kinds of things in it. They flogged him. They made him carry his cross as much as he could up a hill, right, to where eventually they had to have Simon like, yo, you come carry this cross for him because he can't do it no more, right? And you see here they're mocking him and beat him. They took a stick, they took the staff that they were mocking him with and started smacking him in the head with it. Like imagine going through all that and then getting beat with a baseball bat at the same, like afterwards. And I look at Jesus and what he's about to, so he's not even done yet. What's about to happen is they're about to put the nails in his body, into his hands, and to his feet. They put the crown of thorns on him. But before they do that, they offer him just like a little bit of relief. But after tasting it and realizing what it was, he refused it. See, what I learned from that also is that in your most desperate and trying situations, you will be offered an easy option. It'll be offered to you. Just like Jesus was offered an easy option. But Jesus refused the easy option. Because see, Jesus, and this wasn't the first time either. Jesus was familiar with this. See, the devil uses these tricks often. You guys remember back when Jesus had just fasted for 40 days and 40 nights and he was tired and he was hungry. And then the devil came with some easy options. He was like, just turn it into bread. Like, you God, right? You turn it into bread. Just bow down to me and I'll give you all kinds of things. Just jump. Like everybody will come and save you. At his most desperate trying times, you'll be offered an easy option. But he refused because Jesus understood that if he accepted that option, that easy way out, that little bit of relief, yes, it would have eased, it would have taken away some of his pain, but it also would have taken away a lot of his purpose. And his purpose was to be the ultimate sacrifice for humanity.
Amen.
Jesus had to be the perfecter of our faith, the author of our salvation, the ultimate sacrifice, the Lamb of God. And he couldn't take on all the sins and the suffering of the world if he eased all the suffering, right? Then he realized that we would have had to fend for ourselves when it came to overcoming our sin and being forgiven and things like this. We'd have been on our own had Jesus taken that little bit of relief at the time. So even though he was tired, even though he had been dreading it all night, even though he said, God, if you can, take this cup away from me, even though he didn't want to go through with it, even though he said he was thirsty, when he was offered the easy option, he refused it. And I think about us, and I think about me, and how often I've taken the easy way out. I've settled for mediocrity in my spiritual walk. And I wasn't facing anything compared to what Christ was facing. And so I think, like, man, what does the easy way out look like in our life, in our situations? See, a lot of times we do a lot of things. Human nature does a lot of things. One of the things that we do is, instead of facing something, we rather distract ourselves to forget about what we need to overcome. We rather take the generic version instead of facing what we need to overcome. An example of that could be like, God, I know you don't want me holding on to the secret that I got. The secret that I'm struggling with. The secret that I've been struggling with for a long time. The thing that I just haven't been able to overcome. I know you don't want me holding on to that. But I can't see myself having some real, honest, transparent conversations about it. So I'm going to pick the easy option. Sometimes it looks like, God, I know you don't want me lashing out in anger. This is something that I've done historically. This is something that I've done recently. Like, I know you don't want me reacting like this. But it's a lot easier than doing the work to work on myself. So I'm going to take the easy option. God, I know you don't want me like entertaining these dark thoughts that I have. I know you don't want me perpetuating them. I know this is not pleasing to you. But it's a lot easier than fighting it and telling people about it and getting help. It's a lot easier than that. So I'm going to take the easy option. God, I know you don't want me entertaining this person who is not my spouse. And whatever with this person that is not my spouse. Because I'm not married. But I'm tired of being single. And I'm tired of waiting. And I'm lonely. And I want companionship. So although I wish I could wait and for whatever blessing you have for me, it's taking too long. So this is a distraction in the meantime. God, I know you don't want me entertaining people, flirting with people that aren't my spouse. But me and my spouse have been going through it for a couple months. And this is a little bit of relief in the meantime. There's a lot of things that we do to try to distract our mind and take the easy option out, which Christ never did. If he could take the hard way out when he's been through all of those things, though he's innocent, though he was perfect, though he was God, because of his love for us, hopefully we can work through some hard things because of our love for him. You know what? I almost called this talk, this lesson, I almost called it the elephant in the room. Because that's what it's like sometimes. And I've been there. I've been in situations where it's like, whatever, I mess up. But God, let's talk. Anything with that, all right? And I'll go and pray to God, and I'll say, God, thank you for this day. Please help the homeless people. My friend's aunt is sick, heal her. Thank you for what you give to my family. And, help people that are calling on you. Cool. Amen. Yeah, and that's it. When I know there's this elephant in the room that needs to be addressed, that needs to be talked about, a lot of times that elephant has been there for a long time. But what we do is I think that if I don't think about it, then I can't be convicted by it. So I'll try not to think about it, so I can't be convicted by it, so I can't be held accountable for it. Flawed thinking, horrible philosophy, right? Horrible theology. But it's easier than facing the truth. It's easier being honest about what we need to fix and change in our struggles. What I want you guys to do is consider something that you spiritually have taken the easy option on. It's different for everybody. What is it for you? I know what it is for me. It's been a few things. It's been a couple things. Think about times, and sometimes the elephant in the room isn't just with God. Sometimes it's with people close to you, right? Where there's something that needs to be talked about. There's something that needs to be discussed. There's something that needs to be addressed. There's something that needs to be worked on within yourself. You might see it in somebody else, but for some reason, that conversation is a difficult one to have. And so you leave the elephant sitting there. Don't leave the elephant sitting in the room. Whatever that struggle is, whatever that secret is, whatever you've been battling for a long time, whatever character flaw that you know that you need to work on, that's going to take some work, Christ didn't take the easy way out for us. Even though he had every single reason possible to do so. Because of love for us. And so I'll go back to that verse. I want to know Christ and the power of his resurrection, to participate, to share in his sufferings, becoming like him even unto his death, and therefore somehow joining him in his resurrection. And we can't do both. Just like Christ couldn't take the easy way out and be the ultimate sacrifice for all of our sins, likewise, we can't select the easy option and know Christ and the power of his resurrection and share in his sufferings and become like him in his death and become like him in his rising. We can't do both. So my challenge is to address the elephant in the room. Address it with yourself, honestly. Address it with your God, honestly. And have the tough conversations with people around you. Get support with it. Get an accountability group. Have somebody that you could have a couple people that you can confess to, more than one. Have more than one person that you can confess to. And don't take the easy way out in the spiritual journey. Because even though it will still be difficult at the time, relief might not come immediately, but it will come eventually. In this lifetime, but more importantly, in the resurrection, which we want to attain with Christ. So think about what that is for you, that elephant in the room, and address it so that we can share in his sufferings and really know and experience Christ in honesty and transparency, and also share in his resurrection. That's the gospel.